cray cray. Hey, hey, I want your AKA Jonescast. Hey, I want you to hear me now. Believe me later.
Cats and kittens, and I do say cats, here to Season 2, Episode 12 of the AKA Jonescast. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is my skinny, rich friend.
It's Mozz.
That's the guy. Okay, Mozz. Tonight's episode, Season 2, Episode 12, AKA Pray For My Patsy. As Jessica and Dorothy wait anxiously for updates on Trish, a call from Costa brings alarming news. Jerry hatches a plan to get her revenge. Our director was Liz Freelander. Brian Michael Bendis, of course, gets his based on characters credit. And Melissa Rosenberg is our created by. And, of course, Hilly Hicks Jr. gets our written by. And Rael Tucker gets a written by, too. Those two working hard writing this show. Okay, yeah, so this was an episode.
Yeah, no, I find it interesting, and it just hit me in the moment right now, as you said, the name of the episode, Pray for Patsy. Now, it could be interpreted two ways, you know, either you're praying for a Patsy to get well, or who of these characters is she predating upon?
Ah!
You know?
So technically that would be pray with an E.
Right. They didn't spell it that way, but I'm assuming they have enough tact to maybe imply that. Right.
Is the pray for my Patsy.
Right.
That is an interesting pun to point out there, my skinny rich friend.
Right?
It is no wonder you get the big bucks. That is brilliant.
Is it Malcolm? Is it Jess? Is it even her own mom? I mean,
I think,
oof.
well, the sad truth is, I think Patsy preys on herself.
Ooh.
She is an Ouroboros in that she devours her own tail.
She's a masochist.
She is something, and it is such an interesting conundrum with Patsy.
Oh, indeed.
Because it is so easy to write her off as this user, as this person who just wants self-aggrandizement. But at the same time, I think there is this quality to Patsy that has this suggestion for her that she has been denied the power to do good.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm going from her perspective.
Okay.
That she sees all these people with all this power, and when she seeks to do good, it is thwarted. And there are so many people who have other kinds of power, soft power, hard power, etc., who simply choose that power is for their own entertainment. So, and to give you an example, so you look at a Kilgrave, you look at a Jessica, you look at even a Dorothy, who, as the momager, had a great deal of power, but utilized that power only to make Dorothy feel better.
Right.
Kilgrave only used the power to make Kilgrave feel better. Jessica Jones, you can't say that she's using the power to make herself feel better, but certainly she's not seeking to end the torment of others. So, I still feel for Patsy.
I mean, but here's what I think. I think Patsy is only ever serving herself, and I think she knows it. That's the hard part, because when she confronts Alyssa in the jail cell and she pitches her story about, hey, I can tell your side of the story, she's very vulnerable in that moment in letting everybody know her intentions, that I just want the story.
Well, I think, and that's, I guess it's what you call the politician's conundrum. Which is that the only persons who deserve to be politicians are the people who would never think to become politicians. And within that world, you have this question of, if the only people who deserve to be superheroes are the people who would never become superheroes, then what do you do in a world that is filled with injustice and no one willing to take up the cause? No one who has yet learned that with great power comes great responsibility. It's an interesting aspect of Jessica Jones. She is, has been retconned, a contemporary of Peter Parker. They actually went to high school together.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yes. She actually had a crush on Peter Parker. This was during the New Avengers run when they really mommed her up. Because it's an interesting story with Jessica Jones, because basically the Jessica Jones we see in the series is not the Jessica Jones that has been the Jessica Jones for most of her run. She had her initial Alias run, of which this is mostly based on. Then, after she sort of hooks up with Luke Cage in What It Was, she becomes essentially the mom of the Avengers.
Really?
She is totally domesticated, and it's really kind of, in many ways, I don't want to say it's a slap in the face, because I think it makes sense for the character that she is this caring person.
Right.
But she's not the Jessica Jones we've come to know and love here on the series.
Now, do you mean that in the way that her heart is opened up wider, or that she's more cynical in that she doesn't want to engage and let everybody else fight?
Well, what can be said about Jessica Jones in the comics during the Avengers run is that she is essentially, I want to compare her to Madeline Pryor, which is an X-Men character who turned out to be evil in the end.
Oh.
But beyond her being evil, there was this. She was basically the human wife of Scott Summers' Cyclops. They later reveal that she's actually a clone of Jean Grey, and there's a whole mess there in that whole story. But during the actual reading and of the story, she's basically just the normal person in the room with all the superpowered people. Now, how you play that with Jessica Jones is she was this person who was a superpowered person. It's important to remember that in the comic books, not in the series, but in the comic books, she actually was a superhero called Jewel. When she gets captured, in fact, if you remember in the first season when Patsy is showing all the costumes, one of the costumes she holds up is the actual Jewel costume.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, so that was a big shout out to the fans then. Now this Jessica Jones has taken a very different path, and I always compare these to that quintessential Incredible Hulk run where you leave the story behind because there's a deeper story to tell. And I do think that's what they've done with Jessica Jones. And for what it's worth, they've reset Jessica Jones back to this default in the comic books. So she's not the Avengers mom anymore. But it's a weird thing that they did, because essentially they say that Bendis really wanted Jessica Jones to be in the Avengers, but he couldn't write her as a hero in the Avengers. The only thing he could do was to basically make her Luke Cage's girlfriend in the Avengers. And then because she's not a superhero, she becomes basically the mom of the Avengers. It's a very interesting way that it all played out, but that's that. In this moment, though, let's talk about, this is, and I'll give you this much, Mozz, as you're saying that, it is Pray for My Patsy. See, what's funny is I was actually even, as I was going through this, the name Patsy was striking me because, of course, having just watched that, 11/23/63 on Hulu, the idea that, you're the Patsy, I'm just the Patsy. And they go, oh, who is is the Patsy now? Is Patsy making everyone a Patsy? Are you Pray For My Patsy because you are the Patsy? You get wheels within wheels with this stuff, kids.
Yeah, no, to me it was the interesting part of this whole episode was they spent the last 2 episodes making me hate Trish. And now you come to a certain point where everybody is ready to give up on Trish, and the only person who doesn't is Jess. And that all of a sudden it made me confront my own failings in that situation and thinking, like, is this how I would treat a friend? Or are you, shown something that's a better version and you think to yourself, yeah, that's how we should be taking care of our friends. She's obviously off the path. Even if she's transgressing against me, it's my duty as her friend to bring her back to the fold. I thought that was powerful.
Well, you know what I actually liked best about this is we get a really humanizing moment for Dorothy as well. Which is before Alyssa goes and messes everything up, Dorothy's like, I'm not going to pick a fight with you, Jessica. I just lost my daughter. You actually mean a lot to me, too. I almost lost my daughter, and I'm not going to... This isn't about this isn't a urinating contest.
Right, but at the same time, she follows that statement up by saying, we need to protect the brand. You know what I mean?
Well, she says that... Well, what she says is that Patsy's brand is her legacy, and there is...
Right. No. But to her, it's the part of her legacy that she is concerned with. That's what she really means to say, but doesn't have the courage to say bluntly. But what she really is saying there is, that's the part of Patsy that I care about, is the legacy that I can leech from.
I mean that's a fair argument. But when you talk about Patsy and her quest for power, this is the only power that Patsy has.
Right.
Is her legacy. So, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth that you could do on this.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that in that moment, Dorothy really is reaching out to Jessica. And it really falls apart when Alyssa basically, attacks... because, of course, so at the end of last episode, after it is revealed that Carl Malice is quote-unquote dead, like the government's really going to let that knowledge die.
Right, quote-unquote indeed.
Yeah, we already brought a couple people back from the dead who's in your work, Carl. Don't think we're letting you go that easy.
Right.
And, of course, this causes Alyssa to freak out, and she kills the nice person guard, which I just thought was just... And honestly, during that whole moment, I'm just watching that poor guard, and I'm just thinking, don't go in there. Don't go
Why in there. Would you go in there?
Because, she's not Dale,
No. But that's the point I was trying to make in the last episode. These aren't the only 2 options. You can be a smart person that's also conscientious. You don't have to be like a complete evil person and be smart and be dumb and be conscientious. There is a little line.
There is a very real argument to be made in that, Mozz, about that a person who is putting themselves in this career, where there maybe is only a dichotomy in which you can keep your sanity. You can be the hunter who sees everyone as a threat, or you can be the lamb who sees that yes, I'm around wolves, but the wolves can be managed if I don't cause them. If I don't cause them problems, they won't cause me problems.
No, but I don't know. Maybe it's my own fault that I try to view everyone's decision-making process through how I would have acted in that situation. And I find it completely reasonable to be firm with somebody, but at the same time, or rather, to be comfortable and friendly with somebody, but the flip side to that coin being that if I encounter that superhuman being that can actually kill me with the flick of a finger if they so wish, is in an emotional state, and I am in possession of the level of security that is afforded by these bars, that I will be okay no matter what this superpowered human being decides to do, why in God's green earth would I decide to walk in there?
Well,
It just,
I guess what I would say is that the counter argument to all of it is that those bars really aren't going to protect her. And because as we see, the bars really couldn't protect anyone.
Well, maybe, but would Alyssa have considered her a threat if she can stay behind the bars? Probably not.
Well, but the fact of the matter is, she was in an emotional state.
Yeah.
And there's an argument to be made that when someone is in that emotional state, especially a superpowered being, you don't want to let that fester or exacerbate. The only thing you can do, and this was actually the kind of an interesting aspect where, when she is actually first reaching out to her, she's actually referring to her as Alyssa or Miss Jones. When she decides to go in with her stun gun, she starts referring to her as inmate. And the purpose of this is both to break her from her perspective, to remind her, you're an inmate. Don't do something you're going to regret later. And,
I don't know. The only problem I have is that one can take the two varying opposite ends of the spectrum to falsely illustrate a point that maybe Dale had a point. That maybe there's some validity to how Dale operated. I don't think that there is. Just because somebody equally on the other side of the spectrum by being a dummy is able to illustrate the ills of one form of thinking, that's not a true representation of what that line of thinking could have been represented.
Although, Mozz, one thing that one could point out is both ended up dead. That regardless of the tack they took, because they engaged in this situation, whether they engaged with the superhumans in a positive way or a negative way, they both received the same outcome, which is a smashed up head.
What do you do with that?
Well, you do with that the fact that there is not an easy answer. There's not one way to navigate. There's no needle to thread.
Either that or we haven't found it yet, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Now, speaking of people choosing the wrong path, or perhaps the right path, because all paths are difficult, we got our Hogarth going full Luthor.
Oh, man, did I love that.
It was... honestly, this is... If Hogarth got an Emmy nomination for this, which he should have, this is the one that gives it to her. From her dealing with the pawn shop owner, which I thought was amazing. Both how she reads the situation, plays on the sympathy for her illness, because clearly the pawn shop owner was meant to imply that she was a cancer survivor.
Right.
And, and so playing with that, and then, as she says, there's nothing they took from me that I can't buy back. And there's that quality to that says that what they took from me wasn't the stuff.
It's way bigger than that.
Yes. And so it all becomes less about reacquiring the items and more about exacting her revenge. And we get our great little visit from Turk.
Yeah, it's almost like she's stealing back a piece of herself.
Yes. Well, and I love when he says, I never thought you were the kind of person to get your hands dirty. He says, well, if it's as clean as it's supposed to be, my hands won't be dirty,
Right. Isn't that your job?
Exactly. And it is just a fantastic way to play this. And for those who haven't seen it and would like to know, and those who have seen it, essentially she does find Sean and Inez. And she reaches out to Inez and presents to her a counter-narrative of their relationship in such a bold way. And honestly, the visual of this is so powerful. so powerful because you do see her grab the portfolio and say what's in the portfolio without ever showing. And after Inez is given the gun because, hey, if you're going in there, I want you to be safe.
Right.
Brilliant move on Hogarth. And then you see that what was in the portfolio was just all of the Google Maps printouts of the various pawn shops in the, mid-60s. And it is brilliant how it was played out. And then we do see that, yes, as she tosses it back, she basically manipulated Inez to murder Sean.
Right.
And it is amazing to see her to go that full Luthor this episode.
Right, and not only to kill Shane, but to ruin the one lifeline of hope this formerly homeless person had.
Yeah.
To really pull out the last leg that was holding this table up. Oh man, it's so brutal. But even still, I found myself thinking it's not enough for what Hogarth went through. It's not enough. I still feel bad for Hogarth.
Well, I mean, it's fair. It's fine to feel bad for Hogarth. We can feel bad for Hogarth for what she went through. What she exacted as far as revenge is so cold and so calculated that
right, and
that's like a Law and Order. She's like a Law and Order villain.
Right, and that's what makes me even more upset that she hasn't figured out her illness, because she's way too good a character to lose. She's way too evil and way too conniving and way too clever.
But the fact of the matter is, ALS is not a disease that is... I mean, sometimes it can be rapidly progressing, but as we've seen from, Michael J. Fox, it can go for years.
Right, but he didn't have an iron fist.
Oh, well, yeah, but not for nothing, that's all I guess what my point is that, yes, certainly we could do some focus chi mumbo-jumbo to fix the problem, although, there is the quality that if you watched Doctor Strange. Did you see the Doctor Strange movie yet?
Yes, indeed.
In which very much it is about, people who shouldn't be healed being healed. You do see how quickly that can be taken away from you as well. In the end credit scene of that movie. So I think that in many ways, yes, an Iron Fist would be great, and certainly I'm sure that this whole issue is going to come up. Honestly, I am almost interested in seeing her become a She-Hulk.
Ooh, does she become a She-Hulk in the comics?
No. But Jen Walters is a lawyer.
Ah.
And there was this idea that I had, and I'm sure other people have had too, that if you were going to introduce Jen Walters into this storyline, one of the best ways to do it is to provide her with an autoimmune disease, of which the Hulk cells could cure. They actually approached this in I want to say it was the season 3 premiere of The Incredible Hulk. It might have been season 2. The Incredible Hulk called Marriage, where David Banner basically meets this woman in Hawaii who is suffering from essentially an autoimmune disorder, that her body is attacking itself, which is essentially what ALS is the body starts to attack itself. And David realizes, unfortunately too late, that his cells could cure her. That he could inject her with his cells, and she would get the reparative qualities of it, because, of course, the Hulk has this amazing healing factor. And so it is not a stretch to take a character like Hogarth and have her in her quest, come across, Hulk blood. and see what that could do for her, and how that could lead her for her to become a She-Hulk. And then how do you interpret the She-Hulk through this new lens? She would certainly make a perfect red She-Hulk, who in the comics was Betty Banner.
What was the difference between the regular She-Hulk?
Well, the regular She-Hulk is Jen Walters.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and to get into the comic books, so they had a Red Hulk and a Red She-Hulk come into the storylines. The Red Hulk was, spoilers, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, and the Red She-Hulk was Betty Banner, or Betty Ross,
right.
who was Ross's daughter and Bruce Banner's
wife,
yes. So,
huh.
And in both cases, what the idea was is that anyone that was at the original gamma bomb detonation is actually susceptible to becoming a Hulk, and then the leader does stuff to make them all Hulk. So I could see that as an interesting way to approach Hogarth if they wanted to give her powers. I don't know if they would, but it's a door that's open. If someone chooses to walk through it, we'll have to see. And Hogarth had just such a fantastic arc here, but we do want to talk about everyone else's arc, because you do have basically two things happen, which is a few things happen. Alyssa first attacks the fill-in at Trish Talk, and when she realizes that that's not Trish, she leaves. And not for nothing, it's a moment of clarity for her that kind of makes a lie to everything that she says after she does get the chance to attack Trish. Which is she goes to attack Trish, Jessica stops her, and then while she's in her rage, Jessica manages to quote unquote pull her out. But even though she's pulled out, she still goes on to kill Detective Holliday.
Right.
And it is one of these moments where at a certain point you have to recognize it's not about the superpowers. It's about the person who has the superpowers.
Huh.
That they weren't gifted these superpowers because they were good and decent people. It was a random gifting of these powers, and now these people are becoming a menace. And in fact, I believe that Dorothy directly calls Jessica a menace in this episode. So, that is a very, telling aspect of the mythos. So after Alyssa kills Holliday, basically Jessica no longer has allies in the office, in the police force. She's kind of persona non grata, and she has to
or in her own office.
Yeah.
I don't think, right?
Yes. Well, yes.
Malcolm's no longer on board. Well, she's kicked Malcolm away.
Yeah. I mean, there are basically this episode is about Jessica losing everyone she loves once again.
Oh wow, yeah.
And for what it's worth, with Patsy, basically, because of course Alyssa does call Patsy, or does call Jess while she's with Patsy, and Patsy's basically makes, it's an interesting answer because it comes down to the argument we were having last week about whether or not you should just kill this person.
Right.
And of course, dispassionately, Alyssa has killed, and Alyssa will kill again. It is not even a question of debate. This is not a person that is going to be better. But at the same time, I think that Jessica is holding on to this idea that she can be better. And Patsy is the one who's being, no, for real, your mom's like, we both got crazy moms, but your mom actually can tear people physically in half. And there's only one way to deal with that, and that is to put her down and let her know where all of Wilson's gear is in her apartment. And for what it's worth, it's neat seeing Patsy in this moment, even under all this physical distress. Her mind is still working. Her mind is still thinking.
And not just that, but she's still, despite all of it,
they have a brief moment, her and Jessica, where she just offers her honest advice as a friend, barring all the problems that they have in that moment, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, the Jessica and Patsy dynamic is really fascinating.
Yeah.
Especially in the sense that, and I'm gonna say, I think both can be users at times.
Right.
Both can make the other feel like they are a path to a door, you know?
Right, but at the same time, isn't that your job as a friend, to be not only, the audience for what someone does, but sometimes to be the stage on which they do it?
Yes, and I think that in healthy relationships, it's one of these things. In a healthy relationship, that works. And the problem is that there are too many unhealthy relationships out there. And I think that is sort of where you find Jessica and Patsy in this. Patsy does direct Jessica to have Alyssa meet her at her apartment, which is empty at the moment, and there's no cops there. And there is an arsenal there. And she basically tells Jessica, you got to do what you have to do. And I know this person is your mother, but, not for nothing, if you were supposed to die in that car accident, so was she. And so maybe you shouldn't feel so connected to this person, because they are, in many ways, a revenant brought back from the dead. That behaves and thinks she is Alyssa, but on a certain level, maybe she never. However, that is not what happens, because Jess does not pull the trigger. And as a result, she gets taken by her mom in her stolen RV, headed, one assumes, to Quebec.
Why Quebec?
Because that's the closest place directly from New York City.
I gotcha.
It's actually a straight shot, whereas if you go to Niagara Falls, which is the other outlet, and you'll remember that that's actually where the bus was headed, because it actually is it. Because what it is to go to Niagara Falls or go to another Ontario province, it's up and then over across New York, which is actually a much bigger state than people think.
So towards the east.
Or towards the west.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Whereas Quebec is straight up, so you're basically you're doing the vertical on the triangle, not the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse on this triangle is very long to get to, go through Buffalo into Quebec, or into Ontario, and then, but of course with Quebec, you're actually just running through a bunch of very open areas of the eastern seaboard. You're going through more rural parts of the country, so you will have less traffic congestion. So on a lot of levels, I think Quebec is if you're going on the lam from New York, your best bet is to go to Quebec is my suggestion. Because I do think that basically, if you want to go to Ontario, you have to basically go the way you would normally go to Quebec, and then make a left once you get up over Connecticut to get back into New York, and then go upwards from there. So
that's all providing Canada has decided to build a wall to keep us out.
Yeah, well, well, I guess the advantage for Alyssa and Jessica is they aren't going to be stopped by no stinking wall. Okay, any final thoughts on tonight's episode, Mozz?
No, I'm excited about how this season has played out. It started off a little slow, but it's building up to quite a crescendo.
Yeah, well, I think that's how they get you. They do want you to soak in all of the little details that are all going to come back to bite everyone in the butt later.
Right. You don't appreciate it at first, but then you're like, oh, I get it. Thank you for that.
So, Mozz, how can folks find you if they want to reach out to you and touch you in some appropriate or inappropriate way, if you consent?
Preferably inappropriate, but they can reach out to me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
And, of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way Mozz and Pods once said, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger and any other thing I darn well please At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle for quality. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 12th episode of Jessica Jones Season 2. There is one more episode of Jessica Jones Season 2 coming up, and then sweet Christmas! It's time for the Cage Cast. And watch out for episode 4 of the Cage Cast. We are going to have a very special guest star from the Capes and Lunatics family. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining me and Mozz. And just remember, we really want to be your friends. Good night.